Coming up next on Newswatch.
The search is on for an escaped inmate in Hocking County. The fight to frack, how some Athens activists are pushing to stop injection wells.
And in sports, find out which Ohio University athletes received conference honors. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
Law enforcement is searching for an escaped Nelsonville inmate. Good evening, I'm Catherine Blaine. Thanks for joining us. Deputies say inmate John Modi may be in a gold Grand Cherokee heading south toward Ross County. The Pike County Sheriff released a statement this afternoon saying Modi could be with two females, Cynthia Netter and Jessica Horsley. Multiple agencies have joined the manhunt. According to officials with the Ohio Department of Correction, John Modi reportedly escaped from the Hocking unit of the Southeastern Correctional Complex. Modi is currently serving 18 years to life for murder, robbery, and escape. He was convicted of killing a woman in Cleveland in 2003. The Ohio State Highway Patrol says state troopers are following leads to find Modi. Modi was reported missing from the correctional facility after a head count at about 11 p.m. Sunday night. Locals have a mixed reaction to Modi's escape.
It's out here every day. I mean, I don't want to come out here knowing there's a killer or somebody loose. You know, it's kind of scary.
I'm an ex-Marine, so it's going to take more than a 58-year-old combat to scare me.
Modi is described as a white male, 6 feet 4 inches tall, weighing approximately 230 pounds, with gray hair and a gray mustache. He was last seen wearing a blue hoodie, a gray sweatshirt, and blue pants. And the man who allegedly assaulted a Bird Arena staffer has been indicted on 4 felony charges. James D. Howard was indicted today by the Athens County Grand Jury for burglary, aggravated burglary, tampering with records, and having weapons while under disability. Prosecutor Keller Blackburn reports Howard is accused of entering the office of an Ohio University employee and assaulting him. Howard was then found in possession of a firearm while allegedly being drug dependent or in danger of becoming drug dependent. The firearm was purchased after he allegedly made a false statement on his background check form. Some people say the state is not acting in local communities' best interest when it comes to fracking regulations. But the Ohio Department of Natural Resources prides itself in having a strict set of guidelines. Locals say those guidelines aren't strict enough. WOUB reporter Ophelia Ajua has the story.
Why are you so afraid to protect us? Why are you so afraid to put these laws and these rules and regulations in place? That's my question. And are we not important? Do we matter? Because that's how we feel. These communities that are facing these, which are very small communities, feel like we are expendable. We don't matter.
Felicia Medler is an activist working to stop fracking in Athens County. Felicia is a part of Touch Can Do. The group opposes fracking and injection wells and has even protested the K&H injection well in Touch, Ohio.
It felt like I was doing my community service, and that's how I feel. I feel like with the knowledge that I have learned, I have an obligation to share with my community what is right next to them.
K&H has the largest injection well complex in Ohio. Touch Can Do thinks the state should not be allowing fracking and injection wells altogether.
I'm beyond angry. I'm scared. I'm aggravated, frustrated that our lawmakers who we have put in place to keep us healthy and keep us safe are not doing their job.
So what is fracking and what is injection well? Fracking is for short hydraulic fracturing. This is drilling deep into the earth and releasing a high-pressure water mixture. The mixture is directed at the rocks to release the gas inside. And an injection well is where fracking wastewater is disposed of. trucks like this carrying fracking wastewater to this torch injection site. I have been here for 20 minutes and I have counted at least 6 trucks go in and out of this place. Locals said this is a 24/7 operation. The injection well in Torch took in more than 4 million barrels of fracking wastewater last year. That's an increase of 1 million barrels, or nearly 40% in a year. In 2014, a majority of Athens residents voted to ban injection wells in a county. But the Ohio Supreme Court ruled the ban unconstitutional, saying municipalities cannot discriminate against, unfairly impede, or obstruct oil and gas activities and operations that the state has permitted. Even though the state stands against the small communities hoping to end fracking, Felicia Metler wants smaller communities to come together.
The more voices we have, the more we will get done. The people have so much power if they would stand up and unite. Unity is key to everything, to get anything done.
Thanks, Ophelia. We did reach out to K&H Management and Torch, but our calls were not answered or returned. Just last month, a judge in Franklin County rejected an anti-fracking group's appeal of an earlier decision about the K&H injection well in Troy Township. That group, the Athens County Fracking Action Network, wants to continue battling K&H in court. And in Pataskala, a man will be spending more time behind bars tonight. John Morgan was already serving 3 years in prison on a bank robbery charge in Pickaway County. Now, he'll be spending 2 more years in prison on a similar charge. In Athens County, Morgan pleaded guilty to 1 count of robbery and 1 count of theft after the September robbery of a Citizens Bank in Nelsonville. A former Athens County canine officer is off the force. Officials say Ejo will not be working in the county again. This comes after Ejo bit an inmate without cause. The canine team were performing a routine search of the Southeast Ohio Regional Jail in Nelsonville. Ejo then bit an inmate who was laying in bed reading. The case is still under investigation. Officials say Ejo will be retrained and will work with another police department.
Good evening, I'm Adriana Davies, and as we felt this wonderful Easter weekend, we saw 75 degrees yesterday, which is way above average for this time of the year, where our average is right around 60 degrees. But we had a little bit of a cool down that came with that low pressure system that brought that thunderstorm we had last night. But during the middle of the week, we'll start to see a warm up again. So right now in Athens, we're looking at 51 degrees with a lot of winds from the west at 16 miles per hour. But moving into looking around our region, we see 51 around everywhere pretty much, except for down in Ironton, we see 54, and up in Columbus, we see 49. And overnight, hour by hour, at 8 p.m., there's a 20% chance of rain with 48 degrees, but moving into the midnight hour, we'll see 43 degrees, partly cloudy skies, and then dropping to 40 right around 4 a.m. I don't know about you, Catherine, but I'm definitely excited for this warm weather this week.
All right, definitely. Well, thanks a lot. I look forward to seeing you later on in our program. Officials are investigating what caused a GO bus to overturn yesterday afternoon. 8 people were injured when the bus hit a curb and landed on its side in Akron. No life-threatening injuries were reported. Police are saying a mechanical failure may have caused the crash. And some good news for West Virginia. The Mountain State is seeing a huge drop in the painkiller hydrocodone. Officials are saying the number of prescribed hydrocodone products dropped by almost 13 million tablets last year. The drug has been linked to hundreds of overdose deaths in West Virginia over the last decade. West Virginia has the highest rate of drug overdose deaths in the nation. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is hoping to cut down on the amount of algae in Lake Erie. Federal officials say more than $40 million will go to farmers who work to keep pollutants from washing away from their fields into the lake. Lake Erie has had a number of problems with algae in the past. In 2014, algae blooms produced toxins that contaminated the water in Toledo. And still to come on Newswatch, more backlash on what citizens are calling anti-gay and anti-transgender legislation in Georgia. What officials are doing coming up. And the U.S. Capitol is open once again after a lockdown earlier this afternoon. We have the details coming up on Newswatch.
really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere. Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open. You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
The nation's Capitol building put on lockdown after a shooting. Sources say a man entered the Capitol Visitor Center and set off the metal detector. Sources say the man then pulled out his gun and pointed it at an officer. That's when U.S. Capitol Police shot the man, put him into custody, and he was transported to the hospital. A woman was also injured by what police are calling shrapnel. Mary Maloney reports.
Fear on Capitol Hill as word of a shooting forces people to flee.
We were going through the visitor center security, and as I walked through, we heard, get out, there's an active shooter. Come on.
Police and firefighters swarmed the entrance to the Capitol Visitor Center. The heart of the nation's capital locked down, and congressional staffers told to stay in a safe place.
The most stressful experience I've ever had in my life.
This time of year is a busy one for Washington, packed with tourists viewing the famed cherry blossoms and students out of school for spring break. But the lockdown was short-lived after U.S. Capitol Police shot a man and took him into custody. I'm Mary Maloney reporting.
Police have identified the suspect as Larry Russell Dawson. No other suspects are being pursued at this time. D.C. police are saying there is no active threat to the public. And Governor Nathan Deal says today Georgia's faith-based community can be protected without discriminating against anyone. Deal vetoed a contentious bill that was crafted after the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage.
Our people every day work side by side without regard to the color of their skin of their fellow mate or the religion that their co-worker might adhere to. They are simply trying to make life better for themselves, their families, and their communities. That is the character of Georgia. I intend to do my part to keep it that way. For that reason, I will veto House Bill 757.
Supporters of the Religious Freedom Restoration Act would have been given faith-based groups the option to deny services to gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people. Opponents called it anti-gay and, quote, appalling. Governor Deal had been under pressure from businesses, tech, and entertainment corporations. They had threatened to take their businesses elsewhere had the bill been signed into law. And on Wall Street today, stocks close higher after coming back from a long weekend. Here's a look at stocks of local interest. Still ahead on Newswatch, orange juice might not be the only way to keep a cold at bay. More on what researchers are saying could help keep you healthy.
And coming up next on Newswatch, we'll talk about warmer temps that are coming later in this week, but bringing a little bit of rainy weather. That's all up next on my extended forecast.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Good evening and welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Adriana Davies, and right now in Athens we see 51 degrees with partly cloudy skies. It's a little windy with winds from the west at 16 miles an hour. And looking around our region right now, 51 degrees pretty much everywhere. We see 54 down in Ironton and 49 up in our capital of Columbus. Our almanac for today, we were a little bit above average, hitting the high of 66 degrees, where normal was right around 60. And our lows were we were rather above average with our lows, actually, with 47 degrees, 37 being the normal. Our precipcast, we're going to stay, well, I guess we're going to stay pretty relatively dry for our region. But looking into tomorrow, we'll see that high pressure system remain in our area, and then as we transfer into tomorrow as well, that high pressure will keep us relatively dry until that low pressure system will start to move in and bring a little precipitation with it. Tonight in Athens, our overnight lows around the region, was 35 degrees, with 37 down in Ripley, in Marietta, and in New Martinsville. And up in Cambridge, we see 36 with partly cloudy skies around the whole region. Tomorrow, our highs, it's going to be kind of warm, kind of like today. 56 in Athens, 57 down in Ripley, and 52 up in Cambridge with partly cloudy skies, with sunny skies as well, sorry. And in Athens tonight, kind of chilly, 36 degrees, decreasing clouds as the night will move in, but winds from the northwest at 10 to 15 miles an hour. So if you're out and about, grab that jacket because you're definitely going to need it. And hopefully, as we see a little bit of a warm up in the morning, going into the bus stop, partly cloudy skies, relatively chilly. Hour by hour tomorrow, we'll see 38 degrees. As we move into the noon hour, 59, so it's a little bit warmer, and then 55 by 4 p.m. Tomorrow in Athens, 56 as our high, clearing skies. This is kind of relatively normal, the temperature for this time of the year. But as we look into our extended forecast, we'll see beautiful weather as we move throughout the week. 71 on Wednesday, but we'll look at 70 as we move into Thursday with a low pressure system bringing that slight chance of rain. But moving into the weekend, that rain will cool it off, and then next week, hopefully, we'll be back up into that spring weather. Now over to you, Catherine.
All right, well, thank you, Adriana. Now, study results suggest that getting several tattoos may boost your immune response. Pardon me. Researchers at the University of Alabama pointed out that inking a single tattoo can temporarily lower your resistance to catching a cold. Getting a tattoo stresses the body. Researchers say it's like exercising when you're out of shape. But if you keep exercising, the body bounces back faster. Researchers say repeated tattooing might show similar benefits. So they measured an antibody that helps ward off colds in saliva of tattoo customers before and after they got inked. The antibody dropped significantly in those getting initial tattoos. The decrease was smaller among those receiving tattoos more frequently, potentially making them hardier in fighting off the common cold. The research was published earlier this month in the online American Journal of Human Biology.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sean Neidig. Coming up in sports, the Mid-American Conference announced their 2016 Academic All-MAC wrestling team. Find out if any Bobcats made the list. And 2 Ohio baseball and softball players received weekly honors as well. Find out who and how the teams did this past weekend next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to Newswatch. I'm Sean Neidig. Ohio baseball was at Bob Wren Stadium for a 3-game Easter weekend series this past few days, but lost 2 of those 3 games to Northern Illinois. On Friday, the Bobcats were shut out 2-0, but got a little revenge on Saturday with a 4-2 win. Ohio lost the series finale yesterday 3-1. In that loss, though, catcher Cody Gertner extended his program record hitting streak to 20 games. The Bobcats are back in action tomorrow night against Ohio State here in Athens. And despite 2 losses, one Bobcat was honored for his performance last week. Junior pitcher Jake Rudnicki was named the Mid-American Conference East Division Pitcher of the Week thanks to his play on Saturday. Rudnicki went 7 innings in a win against Northern Illinois. He struck out 3 and allowed only 2 runs on 2 hits. Ohio softball also played a weekend series in Athens and won 2 of their 3 games over Western Michigan. The Bobcats started the series with a win on Friday, 5-2. The Broncos took one back in game 1 of a doubleheader on Saturday, 3-0, and in the series finale, Ohio came out on top, 2-1. And thanks to her play over the weekend, Ohio pitcher Savannah Jo Dorsey was also named the MAC East Pitcher of the Week for the 3rd straight week. Dorsey pitched 3 complete games and won all 3. She also had 33 strikeouts. And baseball and softball weren't the only teams collecting accolades. Today, the MAC announced their 2016 academic All-MAC wrestling team, and 2 Bobcats made the list. Senior Spartak Chino made the list for the 4th time in his career. Chino is the only 4-time honoree on the list of 32 wrestlers. The other Bobcat to make the list was Cody Walters. This was his 2nd time being honored, and Walters was also named a 2016 All-American in his senior season. And while the Bobcat basketball seasons have come to a close, the NCAA tournament is still rolling on. Last night, the final 2 spots in this year's Final Four were filled. We'll start off with the late game first. North Carolina and Notre Dame. After Saturday night, North Carolina was one of only 2 #1 seeds left alive in the tournament. They proved why they have that #1 seed with a 88-74 win. The win clinched the Tar Heels' 19th trip to the Final Four, which is the most all-time. This is their first Final Four appearance since 2009, when they also won the NCAA championship. And so UNC has their ticket punched, but earlier last night, fellow #1 seed Virginia wasn't so lucky. The Cavaliers were beaten by 10-seeded Syracuse Orange, 68-62. Virginia was up by 16 in the second half, but a 25-6 second half run put the Orange ahead for the win.
It was a great comeback, one of the best I've coached in any team I've had. They're a hard team to come back against, and these guys just made some unbelievable plays. And
so now that the Final Four is all set, there are some huge sporting events coming up in the near future. The Final Four and NCAA Championship are next week in Houston, as is opening day for Major League Baseball. Final Four will be played on April 2nd, and the championship game will be on the 4th. Major League Baseball starts next Sunday and Monday, with the Pirates playing on Sunday night, and both the Indians and Reds opening their season next Monday. And exactly 1 month from today, the first night of the NFL Draft will kick off. So that's it for sports. I'm Sean Neidig. Back to you, Catherine.
All right, well, thanks a lot, Sean. Inside New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral Sunday, Cardinal Timothy Dolan celebrated Easter Mass. But outside on Fifth Avenue, it was highly informal of a celebration of whimsy and creativity. The Easter Bonnet Festival dates back to the 1870s, where in lieu of floats and marching bands, people showed off their best holiday bonnets. This group chose all things New York as their theme this year. Unlike many other parades in the city, this one is much less organized. Participants basically wander the streets, taking in all the unique creations. They marched along Fifth Avenue in their hats until late in the afternoon. So let's toss it over to Adriana for a final look at weather.
Good evening, and tonight we're going to see 36 degrees with partly cloudy skies, decreasing clouds as we move throughout the day. It's a little chilly and a little windy out, so you're definitely going to need to take that jacket if you're out and about tonight. But tomorrow we're going to see pretty sunny skies with 56 degrees with winds from the northwest at 5 to 10 miles an hour. And over the weekend, or the rest of the week and the weekend, we're definitely going to see a warm up, which I am very excited about. 71 degrees on Wednesday. But with that warm up, we're going to see a little bit of a chance of rain. But as we move into the weekend, that rain will start to cool everything off. And into next week, we're going to see more spring-like weather. Now over to you, Catherine.
Hey, spring-like weather, I like it. But hey, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Catherine Blaine. Stay tuned in for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can always find the latest news anytime you need at WOUB.org. And as always, have a great night.
These students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.